Hello, I'm Will, and this is Big City to Small Town. Today I'd like to address the mayor of this tiny town. Straight to the point, besides being a babbling idiot and a coward, he's a genuine criminal. And I can prove it. So here we go. This is Missouri CaseNet. Everybody can look this up. This is open to the public. It's current, it's updated regularly. We've heard some claims that it's not. Well, it is. I'll leave the links for all of this in the description so you can view it for yourself, so you know this is a snapshot, but you can look it up and you can verify it for yourself. Don't let me put words into your mouth or make you believe something that's untrue. I absolutely believe that if you make a claim, it is your responsibility to prove that claim. If you can't, you need to verify that it's your opinion. Everybody's allowed to have their opinion, but when you claim something like I'm claiming now, it is very important that you can prove it. It's not fair to make harsh allegations like I'm making now without being able to prove it. Well, fortunately for me, I can prove this. If you do a search of Peter Leon Janis Sr., several things will come up. About 8. This is 3 of them. These are all traffic, and they all happened on 10, 21, 22. Now it does say Janis Sr. here, and it just says Janis and Janis. Well, we've been given the excuse before even bringing this up. There was a campaign to discredit these before anybody ever saw these, and the campaign was done by Peter's girlfriend, wife, you pick, I don't really care. That this was not him, but his son, Junior. Now, barring the fact that that's pretty atrocious that you'd be willing to throw his son under the bus in order to protect him from the fact that he has these charges, so he could run for mayor. SR does not mean junior. SR is senior. If any of these charges were for Peter Leon Janis Jr., there would be a JR appearing here. There is not, there is an SR. This is, in fact, our mayor. What do you know? So if you click on these, you can go ahead and come in here. You can click on each one of these blue highlighted areas and you'll get to a screen that will show you these. You can choose what to look at. If you look at docket entries, it'll show you this. Now everybody has a pass, right? I'm perfectly fine with this pass. You know, he got pulled over, he got some tickets. I don't really care. That's fine, that's a pass. But if you notice that this actually says 11/1/22. Arraignment scheduled. On 12/20/22, warrant issued, failure to appear. Now this is December of last year. At the same exact time is when he registered to run for mayor. So he literally is given a warrant for his arrest. 3, in fact. The same exact month that he decides to run for mayor. So you think, well, okay, he's going to take care of this, right? I mean, he just got issued a warrant by not showing up. It's a failure to appear warrant, right? Well, obviously he didn't. Because as you see, 9/7/23, an arraignment was scheduled. So after somebody finally brought it up, after me going on a campaign to let people know that this, in fact, is him and that this is happening, and we have a mayor that has 3 warrants for his arrest. He went in and decided he was going to schedule for an arraignment. So he has an arraignment scheduled, right, for 10/5/23. Doesn't seem that it's been updated to reflect anything happening since then. Well, if you go into Each one of these items, and you look at the docket entries, they all three show this same thing. This the same timeline, they happen at the same time. That's how it works. If you go to charges and judgments and sentences, for each one of them, you can see that one of them is a failure to register a vehicle. Okay, I guess it happens. You know, you get a vehicle, maybe get pulled over on your way home from buying a vehicle. I believe they give you time to take care of that. I don't know. So he didn't register a vehicle, right? Doesn't sound too bad. Click second one. Second one is maintaining financial responsibility. He didn't have insurance on the vehicle, right? So got a new vehicle, didn't have it registered, didn't have it insured. I guess, you have time to do it before they give a ticket. So I really find it hard to believe that he had just bought this vehicle and didn't get around to it. I just don't really think he cared. It's actually my understanding, and well, to be fair, I can see his house from my kitchen window. He got a truck. It didn't even have a license plate on it. He had no intention. He doesn't really care. Let's be realistic. Go to the third charge. This is where it gets a little bit more discreditable. Operating vehicle on highway without valid or no license? You mean our mayor doesn't even have a driver's license? Does he not have a driver's license? Is it that he never got one? Yeah, I find that hard to believe. He's not, 20. And I get why maybe millennials don't get a license in Uber. However, that would be really hard to do this far out. So the truth is he had a license. Except he got his license suspended. Why did he have his license suspended? Well, if you go ahead and look through, and when you first initially come up, you'll find these two being the primary entries on the top. It does say on instead of Leon. It's amazing how you can just write something down, say like an attorney writes the initial instead of the actual name. That's why it shows up differently. It is indeed him, and this is why. If you notice that there is this tag here and this tag here. Okay, so this in 2019 that this one appeared, and this is for 2020 that this appeared. This is the traffic ordinance that we had just looked at. Now, what does this mean? Well, you can very easily look up this code. When you click into it, you can see that there is a judgment entered on the docket. Still doesn't generally tell too much of what it was, right? But it's obviously a civil matter, right? So if you do look it up, this is the code. It's for child support. Child support. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I get with somebody. I pay child support. Well, here's the problem is he didn't pay his child support. So they suspended his driver's license. I've never had this happen to me. This doesn't apply to me, and can't apply to other people, and that's just fine. However, the problem is that if you don't pay your child support, they do suspend your driver's license. So we have a deadbeat dad that works under the table to avoid paying child support or taxes. He gets his license suspended as a result of this. Gets pulled over and gets fines that turn to warrants in December of last year. Then instead of taking care of it, he runs for mayor. So just to add insult to injury, what did he do instead of taking care of this? He took a city vehicle and used city funds to get insurance that, get this, would cover an unlicensed driver. I know, even the agent took cause. He took it for his own personal vehicle, used it for his own personal use. It's his everyday driver. Why? It has city plates on it. And how do I know that he did take it day one and use it for his own personal use and did call to get insurance that would cover even an uninsured driver? I was in City Hall working on the computer when him and his girlfriend, wife, we're in the next room calling the insurance company to get insurance on the car. When this had come up, I actually did turn and say, geez, guys, at least close the door. So I know firsthand that's what happened. It has city plates on it. So he felt, well, I can drive around a city vehicle and nobody's going to pull me over. How could this happen? After all, it's public record, isn't it? There's a board of aldermen that keeps the mayor in check, isn't there? Well, same ways things like this always happen. Through threats and intimidation. This idiot and his group of cronies silenced anyone that would attempt to question them. As for the council, it's my belief anyways, that it's a combination of blindness and willful ignorance. They were so excited to get in there, two of them that were elected alongside him by the same exact people that did elect him, really eager, got caught up in the moment, let's say. Can't prove otherwise. I'm willing to accept that. However, it is their job, it is their responsibility. They did volunteer for this. The other two of the four aldermen on this council were appointed by this mayor. As to whether they did their due diligence or not, obviously none of the four did their due diligence. This was brought up and people were silenced anytime it was. Essentially, you just get bullied, put it on a Facebook page for the town. Go ahead and have a look at that. That's a giant mess. So here it is. We have had this mayor for 9 months now, and he fully intends to run for election again in December. As to whether he intends to take care of his fines or anything is pretty unclear. But let's say he does. Great, you're literally taking care of your responsibility. You probably should have taken care of, before you ran for mayor. As to whether it makes him a good mayor or not, sure, we can debate whether him taking care of his responsibility for his children and his driver's license and financial matters or, paying taxes makes him a good or bad mayor. In my personal opinion, if you don't pay taxes and commit tax evasion and don't take care of your children and don't pay your child support, then you're a bad person. And you'd make a terrible representative for a community. So how did he resolve this problem? He just ran for mayor, right? He didn't take care of any of it. And here's another issue altogether is I only asked one question when he was running for mayor. The only question I asked was the same question I asked everybody. What do you do for a living and how is that going to contribute to your time in office? How is that going to help you out? He couldn't really give an answer because there is no answer. Because the truth is that he just does side work. Some people do that. Okay, but if you don't pay taxes because you only do side work and won't get a real job to avoid having to pay your child support, if you are having this gentleman do side work for you, you are contributing to this behavior. Let's be very clear about that. Right? He is the guilty party for this, but if you are a member of this community and you are not giving this gentleman a 1099 when he does work for you, just know now that you are contributing to him not paying his child support and not paying taxes. That is appalling behavior for a representative. I don't think that you should be supporting this. It's not just appalling, but is absolutely illegal. Somebody should probably call the IRS. I'm sure they probably really don't care. It's not like there's they have time for him, right? He's just a government official after all, right? So there you have it. I'll leave the links in the description. You can go and look at all of these on your own. As to whether he updates it between now and the time you look at it, I really don't care too much. This can all be brought up in the meetings, and we'll see what happens when it comes time to run again. Obviously, he's going to run. I'm sure he believes that he'd just sweep this under the rug like he did last year, and who knows? It may just work. It worked last time. Through intimidation and bullying, after all, it only took 50 people in this town to vote. 50 people voted in the election. So it literally 50 people can decide that somebody's going to be mayor. So it doesn't seem really that shocking that he was able to pull this off, despite being a complete and total idiot.
And be transparent with everybody and open and honest, and be as social as possible. You gotta,